Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to the Tax Awareness Show. My name is Shilly Boy Mutiva. I'm your host. Today we've got a special edition, rather a special episode, where we are at Mpumalanga Provincial Mpumalanga Treasury Department. Yes, of course, we are actually covering their budget breakfast event, and I'm seated here with Sis Gugu. Good morning, Sis.
Good morning, Tati. How are you?
I'm okay.
I'm
Good,
good.
good,
I'm
good, good. So what we're going to be doing, I just want Gugu to actually give us a highlight because yesterday the MEC of Finance actually took us, or rather delivered a budget speech for the provincial. So I just want Sis Gugu, maybe just on a high level, take us through what have been the key highlights of the budget speech yesterday.
Thank you very much, Tati Mutiba. Well, as a provincial treasury, we tabled on behalf of the provincial government a budget of 66.2 billion rands. Our budget is made up of funds that we get from national, about 52 billion rands of that comes from the national fiscus, and about 10.4 billion rands of that comes from conditional grants. And as the province, we raise our own revenue to the tune of about 2.4 billion rands. Now, our budget in the main is skewed towards the social sector, which is made up of education. They are getting about 28 billion of the budget, followed by health. They get about 19 billion rands of the budget, followed by public works, roads and transport. They get about 5.4 billion, and social development at just about 1.8 billion. So in the main, those they take almost 84% of our budget, because those are the items of public good according to the constitution. That's where our direct and immediate mandate lies.
Correct.
However, as a province, we also do try and bring up the economic development side of things, the economic cluster. Our economic cluster is made up of public works. To a certain extent, they are part of the economic cluster because of their roads mandate, because of their construction mandate. Our public works in the province, they don't only construct infrastructure for themselves, but they construct infrastructure for other departments as well.
Correct.
E.g., our schools, they are the ones who are in charge of that, clinics and all of those things, they do that, working with other implementing agents. And then, of course, we are in agricultural provinces in Mpumalanga.
Yes.
So agriculture is quite important for us. They come in and get quite a fair slice as part of the economic cluster. And in the main, we have been involved with key projects as a province in agriculture. In the main, it has been the much talked about Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market.
Yes.
We have finished the capital construction side of it. We are now moving on to the operationalization side. Huge opportunities.
Yes.
For emerging farmers, for big business as well in the province and in the country. It is the first produce market that is constructed in South Africa in 50 years. So it's a massive opportunity. It's a beautiful structure. It just needs to be operationalized. And part of us taking it at that level, it means we must support farmers. We have been supporting farmers through past administrations, through different means. It would be through their land, irrigation systems, fencing, providing implements. If it's animals, it will be animal feed and all those kinds of things. So we do have quite a good size and quite sizable number of young farmers who are entrepreneurs that we have brought to the fold. We're looking forward to them being suppliers of the fresh produce market, but not only limited to that, to other markets as well that are available. Your normal supermarkets. We've got an egg-laying young lady in Dr. Moroka, which we have been supporting. She supplies eggs to Spa and all of that.
Access to market.
Access to market, yes. So we've got quite a lot that we've been assisting, quite a lot of projects in that regard. So agriculture is a key component of the economy of Mpumalanga. It helps us with growing small businesses. It helps us with employment because it's a labor-intensive sector. It's also helping us with technologies now, new technologies, but also it is diversifying with the issues of agro-processing.
Yes.
So it's the province is no longer about just planting and plowing, but it is about also extracting and agro-processing, packaging, and taking to markets. We've got a tea estate, we call it Sentico Tea Estate, which is a project that is a land revitalization program previously done by Rural Development. We have revitalized it. We've been in the process of bringing it back to life. Part of what we hope to do there is to be able to produce tea and to produce medicinal herbs out of it. Again, our intention is to do the agro-processing spend. So there's quite a lot that we are doing in agriculture. We're excited about it. We also want to work with the big players in agriculture. Mpumalanga has got many big players. They are well established. They've got the systems. They know the exports and the imports related issues. So we are going to be working very closely with them in making the market work. We also have we are a tourism province.
Yes.
So
Beautiful province, by
definitely,
the way.
according to the release of the tourism report in 2024, we were ranked as the second most visited province by international tourists in the country after Western Cape. We actually think we are the first because people do Western Cape because they land there.
Yes.
So they are recorded as though, but actually they are coming to Mpumalanga. That is why, as part of what we've been doing through our tourism authority, we had a partnership with Eurowings, which is a German airline, about 2-3 years back, where they will then fly in tourists directly from Germany to Mpumalanga. So we are continuing to pursue those kinds of markets. So with tourism, what we are looking at is one, we've got the current tourism assets that are existing.
Yes.
E.g. the provincial nature reserves.
Yes.
They are very important.
Yes.
We want to revitalize and keep them looking quite well. There's a huge competition between government-owned nature reserves and privately owned nature reserves, especially in Mpumalanga. So we need our assets to be up to par. So that's the first issue, to revitalize what we have, maintain what we have. The second part is to then bring in new tourism assets.
Yes.
That's why you would have heard in the speech of the MEC, he spoke about feasibility studies that we needed to do because we've identified some sites around the Hazy View Line, Bushbuck Ridge area, Nkomazi, Chief Albert Luchuli area, border of Swaziland. It's quite good sites that we have there, but they need to be developed. It's one area where, as government, we want to work with business. It's an opportunity for small businesses to come to the party. It's an opportunity for big players in the tourism sector to come to the party so that we can develop those tourism sites. Remember, when people come here, they come because there are attractions, particular assets that we have.
Yes.
So we need to develop that. If you look at Maripskop, for example, it's quite a nice mountain. It's almost similar to Table Mountain, but with good development and projects that will anchor it, there's a lot we can reap out of it. So there's feasibility studies then that we'll need to do around Maripskop and Hazy View and all other areas with an intention of then ultimately packaging and taking them to the market. So those are some of the opportunities that are also available for entrepreneurs and business in the area. So that's where we are with tourism as one of our big assets. We have Mega, our economic growth agency in the province. They have a lot of our assets previously inherited from past governments in their balance sheet. However, they have not been in a good condition because of various reasons. So we want to bring them up back as proper factories through which we can be able to give space to entrepreneurs to rent out those factories and grow their businesses and support government. We can have some sort of arrangements that we'll do with them. We are also planning on revitalizing those factories and also growing the balance sheet of Mega, because once they do that, they can go out and be able to attract investments, work with industry, leverage on what they have. That's some of the things that we are looking at. So yeah, it's quite a range of exciting issues that the MEC spoke about.
No. I mean, it's exciting. I'm hearing a lot of opportunities that entrepreneurs or business community can actually participate. I mean, maybe let's look into what SMEs opportunities are there and how are you guys ensuring that these opportunities are tailored actually to suit those emerging or SMEs sector, because we can all speak about these opportunities, but if those opportunities will be able to be actually captured by the sort of big players, but what are we doing to ensure that the SMEs actually are able to leverage these opportunities?
Okay. Well, as indicated with sector agriculture, we are having a partnership with the Department of Small Business Development at National. We are in discussions with them, particularly working on opportunities brought about by the cannabis industry. So we are working with Sasol. We've got land in Governor Mbeki municipality, which Sasol has made available for the provincial government to use, working together with the local municipality that side, Governor Mbeki local municipality. We are coming in then as a department and are availing funding for SMEs. As you know, the industry is quite an infant industry. So we are coming in because of the technical expertise that we have, production support, capacity support, to then assist in regulating the industry, but also unlocking and unraveling those opportunities. Small business development as a national department, they are also going to be coming in because their expertise is dealing with small businesses.
Correct,
They've got companies that they work with in the province. Traditionally, they have not been in the cannabis industry. They've been doing other agriculture. But because there's an opportunity here and they've got an appetite, and because we're gonna be coming in to skill them, we are directing them towards that. It's a new market, niche market, which we can work on. That's one very live, real opportunity. And through partnerships with these partners I've spoken to, we think we can make it work. We also have our Department of Economic Development and Tourism in the province, whose mandate is to deal with economic growth and work with SMEs. So they themselves have got a program that they are going to be running across sectors. One of the sectors they'll be focusing on is transport and logistics. As I indicated, we are having the fresh produce market that will be operating. So there's new opportunities there for transporters, different sets of transporters, trucks, logistics, warehousing, and all of that the industry brings. So they are going to be having specific programs in that regard. I'm aware that their MEC was just in conversation with the University of Mpumalanga early this week in trying to formalize those kinds of partnerships, so that they come in from a skilling perspective, we come in from an access to market perspective, they come in from actual organization, compliance, legislation related matters as economic development. We have a fund that we started some years back. At the time, we were working with Standard Bank. Now we are working with ABSA, and they have come on board. They say they have a fund that they are going to be putting aside, particularly for SMEs. SMEs have an opportunity to access. Because we are starting it with ABSA, in the main, it's focusing on those who have worked with government. You've got work government that's giving you, you don't know where to start. You don't have the pre-support, you don't have the post-support, but you've got a PO at hand. So they are going to be coming on board and be able to assist you on that. That program is coordinated by our Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport and Economic Development and MEGA. And then as the province, we launched a Premier's Youth Development Fund. I think we launched it in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. It's been in action. I think this will be the 4th year. We've got a budget that we have set aside more than 100 million for 25-26. We've disbursed almost 400 million since we started. We've got those SMEs, young people-led SMEs, through the Premier's Youth Development Fund that we have enabled with funding and pre-investment support, and most of them is post-investment support. Because it's not about just giving them the funding. It's about giving them, teaching them the business skills, how to run the business and all of that. A new issue which the Premier's Youth Development Fund will be dealing with is to now also fund ideas. Innovation. Because we realize that some have got the thinking, that is why you heard the Premier emphasize the issue of research and research capacity. We will be launching a Mpumalanga Research Institute, hopefully before the end of the financial year. The Office of the Premier is busy with the bill in that regard. Their main aim is to then have these go through processes and being tested. We're quite excited to hear Microsoft make a commitment today that that's one of the issues that they can assist us with. Huawei also, and many other companies that will come on board. So those are opportunities that we've got for SMEs across the different sectors. Our approach is not sector specific. We are looking at the different sectors, but then we will tease out what is the greatest opportunity in the specific sector.
To prioritize resources.
To prioritize resources, and to also prioritize the intended outcome and the outputs thereof. But we want to stress, as government, we have the thinking. But sometimes we don't have the technical expertise, especially when it comes to making this work as businesses. That's why we want to work with the private sector. And to us, when we say private sector, we're not only speaking about the big conglomerates we've got in the province, your Sasos and the likes. We also recognize the small businesses. We are happy with working with small businesses that employ 4 or 5 people, because we know the multiplier effect and the differences that it makes. That is why you heard the last speaker today, who was doing the vote of thanks, the executive mayor for Revitalization. He was outlining the plans that as a district municipality they've got for local economies. So we believe in the strategic intent of LEDs in municipalities. So we want to work with those LEDs so that we are able to unravel the local economies and be able to support. Remember, as government, we are also a big player in the market. I mean, we have a 66 billion rands budget. So on our own, we spend. So that government expenditure as well, we want to direct it towards the SMEs to enable them to grow, to give them the platform. But we don't want to keep them as SMEs forever.
They must
we want
grow.
them So yes, there are those kinds of programs that we are having.
I actually like this because I'm hearing you as you're speaking, and I think we're going to be closing with this because I'm trying to align it with the national budget. And I'll share with you, because you guys are working closely with the Department of Small and Business Development. They've been allocated 2.1 billion over the next 3 years. So surely they've got capacity to come and assist you guys. But equally so, they've got over the 300 million that they're going to be rolling out to actually create what you call micro, small, and medium hubs Exactly. So then it means I'm going to be coming back to you, Sis Gugu, to say, has there been any form of SME hub that was created by the Department of Small and within Mpumalanga? Because if they're saying that they've got over 300 million for that, I will preferably see that being spread across the country. So maybe this is something that as you guys are engaging in these conversations with the Department of Small and Business Development Department, you need to be speaking about and identify these opportunities that are coming from the national budget. But equally so, you spoke of the ideas, you spoke about the research and the innovation. There's something that from the budget speech again, from the tax point of view, there are benefits, tax reliefs for you to coming up with innovations, new ideas, the research and development, and that has been extended with 5 years. Those benefits, SMEs must take advantage of them. If you are in that space where you're actually coming up with new ideas, as you're going to be partnering with Microsoft, these people need to take advantage of these type of benefits for them. You also mentioned the issue of manufacturing, where these SMEs or a business at large can actually take advantage of these factories and then there's established manufacturing. There's benefits. I spoke about that. There's a manufacturing tax benefits, tax release, where let's say, for example, you guys give them a structure and then you allow them to put in plant and equipment within that. That plant and equipment can be eligible to be deducted against taxable income in year one, 100% of it. That what it does that it gives you cash flow planning. Yes, it gives you cash flow planning. You are able to get money now instead of waiting for 3 years, 5 years. That will typically happen. But equally so, I mean, you already alluded to a lot of initiatives that you guys are doing. That to me, they're actually going to be reducing unemployment. That is a very, very painful thing. Maybe in closing, over and above what you just mentioned, what are you guys in to deal with this social ill? Because unemployment is a real issue. What else are you guys doing to address this issue in closing?
Okay, maybe let me take you up, Mr. Chili Boy, on the issues of tax. We are going to be rolling out tax Indaba sessions as a province. We have in the past been rolling out SCM Indaba. But I think through this partnership, we can then take it down to tax, as well, because we've identified that it is an impediment for businesses to grow. So definitely we'll plan around that and we'll be in touch in terms of the modalities around it. Now, unemployment in the province, what are we doing? One of our direct responses was definitely to the Premier's Youth Fund, the Premier's Youth Fund. I think as at the end of the last financial year, we had about 92 businesses that we had supported, and the 92 businesses employ quite a number of people. We have that information, I think, as recently as now when the Premier tabled the SOPA on the 28th, there were real live businesses that were business people who were there, and we're saying we've been assisted by the Premier's Youth Development Fund. And of course, our intention is to take them to different steps for them to be able to grow. So that's one aspect of how we are doing it. Secondly, there is a view in the province that the procurement spend of government must go to targeted groups. We report on that every quarter as a provincial treasurer. How much goes to the youth, how much goes to women, and all
those with disabilities.
Exactly. And so on and so forth. So we are very intentional about that as part of creating the employment. And the fund that I spoke to, that we started with Standard Bank at some point, and now we're also going to be rolling out with ABSA, is also try to assist with matters of unemployment. But more than anything, I think the Premier is intentional that we can't work alone as government when we do this. Hence the view that
he's big on that.
He's very big on that. So part of what he's trying to do is to infuse the curriculum thinking at a school level. That is why you would have heard him speak about the mining school when he first came in last year in June, July. Mining school, we are moving steam ahead to establish a mining school, working with the mining companies. You would have also heard him speak about the school for people with disabilities, because again, our view is that they must come into mainstream schooling, that they are able to also be empowered to be entrepreneurs as we move forward, precisely so that when we do the targeting of the groups, we know that there's people that we have intentionally capacitated. Exactly. So those are some of the programs that we are trying to do in the tourism hospitality sector, working with the cat sitter. We are also trying to have programs that are targeting those and formalizing those businesses, because we have a lot of our women who are in the sector but are a bit informal for whatever reason. I think it's your tax issues that make people prefer to remain informal, but also the realization that the informal economy does exist and would like to work with them as part of recognizing that they can generate income, they can generate revenue, and it helps in their households to be able to do this. So these are some of the initiatives that we are having, which I think I would invite you, when departments do their own policy and budget speeches, each one of them will be indicating exactly what each sector will be busy doing with. Of course, we have the presidential youth employment initiative as well. The MEC spoke about it again today. We will be employing teacher assistants that we are going to be coming in and trying to assist in terms of that. There are quite a few recruitment initiatives that we are having as well on our own as government, but more than anything, that won't be enough. Hence, we are looking at preparing them, giving the skills so that we prepare them to be entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gugu. That was Ms. Gugu, the head of Department of Treasury in Mpumalanga. As you can hear, Mpumalanga is ready to do business, is ready to collaborate, is intentional about the opportunities, or is intentional about the programs that they are doing to ensure that they alleviate the very same issue of social ill of unemployment, but equally so presenting opportunities to the business community. My name is Shili Boy. I'm your host for the Tax Awareness Show. Thank you very much for watching.